The other big story tonight, a Citrus County school heartbroken. A student shot himself, and he did it in front of a classroom full of high school students.
Thankfully, he survived and no one else was hurt. Lecanto High School was put into lockdown after the shooting this morning. Students were then dismissed early. We have live team coverage tonight, beginning with Mark Douglas, who is live in Citrus County. Mark.
Keith and Stacy, this has been a day filled with fear and sadness on this sprawling campus where Lecanto High School is located, as well as the nearby middle and elementary schools. It was a real heart pounder for Citrus deputies around 10:30 this morning when they rushed to the shooting scene, believing that everyone was potentially at risk.
Of course, they were in danger. We had an armed individual on the complex.
When the first SRO rushed into the freshman English class, the 15-year-old boy lay critically wounded with a self-inflicted gunshot to the head, but still able to speak.
The initial question was, are you the lone shooter? Was there anybody else involved?
Even after the boy clearly answered no, authorities still ordered a lockdown of all three schools just to make sure. Thousands of students like Catherine Schlabach huddled inside locked classrooms, in her case, on the floor of a darkened closet.
I wasn't sure if anybody was hurt or if he had shot many people.
It seemed like forever before the principal announced they were safe.
We were pretty scared because the teacher didn't know what was happening, so we knew that it wasn't planned.
By the time the all clear sounded, hundreds of anxious parents were clogging nearby roadways, and the 22 to 25 students who witnessed the shooting were receiving treatment for their trauma.
The students who also witnessed this were isolated. They have been working with counselors.
It was a heart-pounding day that ended with a small measure of relief.
By the grace of God, even though it was a horrific event, only one individual was injured today.
And tonight, many people are praying by the grace of God that boy will survive his head wound. I just learned moments ago that one of the reasons why the SROs arrived so quickly, first of all, the SRO was in the same building. Secondly, the teacher in that classroom had a panic button that she pushed. There wasn't a single 911 call. She pushed a panic button. Now, we still don't know why that boy chose to shoot himself in front of his classmates in that freshman English class here at Lecanto High School. Stacy?
Mark, do we know where he got the gun or if he'd made any prior threats?
That part, it remains a mystery as far as where he got the gun. Earlier today, the sheriff said that there is no indication of any prior warnings or threats. Again, it's still a bit of a mystery, and they are searching his cell phone and other electronic items, looking for clues, trying to figure out why this happened in the first place.
Just awful. Mark Douglas live in Citrus County tonight. Thank you.
And it was a frightening situation, not just for the students, but also for parents. Hundreds of them rushed to Lecanto High School to get their children today. Peter Bernard continues our team coverage from Citrus County. Peter, I was seeing this being tweeted about. I can only imagine a parent hearing this in piecemeal form.
Yeah, just bits and pieces getting out, and that's the worst of it all. Good evening, Keith. It's the news parents don't want to hear: a shooting at your son or daughter's class. Told about a shooting at Lecanto High, parents rushed to pick up their students.
I was petrified, and she actually texted me and told me that she was in the, in a closet on the floor and in the dark, and just, texting me, telling me she was scared. So just really scary.
With the school on lockdown, students called, texted, and posted to social media what they could see and hear. The lack of solid information caused some to panic, not knowing if there were several victims or, as it turned out, just one.
I was terrified. First thing I wanted to throw up. My heart just sunk down in my stomach and I was ready to go. I was at work.
Parents lined up in their cars, waiting to retrieve students on a day when classes ended early.
Just please, God, let him be okay.
Sarah Rose's son, Brent, a 16-year-old freshman, is fine. But this suicide attempt is making her rethink sending him to public school.
I'm ready to homeschool. I am so ready to homeschool.
Students and teachers will take a much-needed day off tomorrow to observe Veterans Day. Counselors will be available here over that holiday and for the rest of the week. Keith?
Peter Bernard reporting live in Citrus County tonight. Thank you, Peter. And we will continue to bring you complete coverage of what happened at Lecanto High School on air and online. Stay with WFLA.com as this story develops.